Hello everyone, welcome to the 2000 subscriber special Ask Me Anything video answers. I want to firstly thank you all for letting me reach this mark. 2000 subscribers is, it's very nice. I love that. So without further ado, I get down to the questions. Aztecs asks, do you write your own works, and what inspired you to do readings, and what program do you use, or what would you recommend to someone who's trying to become a reader? Now, I have written one or two stories that I've actually narrated, but I am a very bad writer. I simply do not have the capability to write, so I just leave that to those who are capable, and I just mostly just read what they write. What inspired me to do readings? I loved listening to them, and so I just thought, why not? Maybe I should do one on my own, and yeah, here we are. What program I use? Audacity is the program I use for voice editing, recording, and mastering. It is a program that I would recommend to anyone because it's easy to master, and I did receive a lot of help, though, I must say, but it's mostly very easy to master this program, so it shouldn't be a problem for a starter to get used to this program. Raphael Forever says, hey, congrats, this is awesome. I hope you get a lot more subscribers soon. As for my question, I'll go for a cliche one. What's your biggest fear? First of all, thank you, Raphael Forever. My biggest fear? That's a very good question. It depends. But I would say my biggest fear is probably cockroaches. Like, when I see one, I need to leave the continent. Like, I can't simply stay in a place that I saw a cockroach in. And where I'm from, unfortunately, during summers, there's like an abundance of cockroaches due to the climate being very cockroach friendly during the summers. So I shouldn't say abundance of it, but you can see, like, for me, seeing 3 cockroaches through a month is too much. So, yeah, I haven't seen one, unfortunately, in my apartment, but yeah, I'm just terrified of those evil creatures. Emily George says, a question. Alright, do you love me? No, really, what's the one horror movie you watched as a kid that scares you today? Emily, I do love you, and, I did watch a lot of horror movies as a kid, because, my mother was a very, big horror fan. And we watched a lot of scary movies together. At that time, I had watched The Poltergeist, and it really scared me, especially with the scene where there's this girl in front of a mirror in the bathroom, and her like tooth braces suddenly just sprout out of her mouth and just, wrap around her head, etc. It was just very traumatic for me at that time for some reason. But today, I am barely scared of any scary stuff, movies included. So, I wouldn't say there is one that scares me today. Master of Horror asks, who's your favorite narrator? Now, that is a tough one. Of course, I'll start off with Mr. Creepypasta and CreepyMissusPasta. They're amazing narrators. But I like a few people that are not that well known. There was a narrator that I really liked listening to the stuff of, but I don't think he no longer makes videos. His name is Der Schlankerman. It's in German, I believe. He was very good. He doesn't do that anymore. Who else? Oh, and yes, there's another person who has stopped doing videos, unfortunately. And I believe she is my favorite narrator of all times. She's called Scarecrow one something. I'm not sure about the exact number. But she's a British narrator. She used to do amazing stuff. I'm so sad that she no longer narrates stories. But she was amazing. She's very talented. She has a very beautiful voice. And a very beautiful accent as well. And it was very much fun to listen to her. So I'm sad that she has given up. Zelcanic says, what are some of your favorite stories and what makes them your favorite? Love your videos, by the way. Your narrations are incredible. Thank you, Zelcanic. Okay, I have a lot of, I don't have one specific favorite story, obviously, especially since the more you read, the more you find out about amazingly nice stories. I should say, in the beginning, when I started getting more interested in narrating creepypastas, I came across a story called Candle Cove, which is probably well known to all of you guys by now. Candle Cove is, I think, a genius story. I love that story. Besides Candle Cove, I can say I'm a sucker for many of Vincent V. Cava's stories. I think he's a very talented author. I love his latest work. The latest work that was narrated by Mr. Creepypasta, Picture This. He does really have quite impressive stories. I don't have any other specific favorites. I just like a lot of stories out there. Mr. Muxix, or Muxix, excuse me if I just slaughtered your name, asks, would you ever be willing to do a collaboration? Well, I do have a few conditions when it comes to collaborations, and I don't mean to sound like an ass about this. I just want to do collaborations with people who are basically who are above 18 years of age and or have their parents' consent on what they're doing, because I wouldn't want to upset some parents who wouldn't approve of what their son or daughter is doing about creepypasta. So as long as, you know, you're of age or above, or you have consenting parents, why not? Oh, also, I usually make sure that the voice quality is more or less compatible with each other. Sometimes some microphones are very different when it comes to others, and it's so hard to master in the end, and the voices sound very different. So I just try to make sure that the sound quality is compatible with each other. Pink Lion asks a lot of questions. Who is your inspiration of creepypasta? How do you not stay scared? What is your favorite creepypasta? Are you in a relationship with someone, and who? Who is my inspiration of creepypasta? Probably Mr. Creepypasta was the one who inspired me to do my own recordings because he's so good at what he's doing. And the more I listened to his stuff, the more I just wanted to get into the stories as he did. So it just started off as an experiment after feeling so compelled to do what he does. How do I not get scared? I don't know. I think after a while you just get immune to fearsome stuff that would normally just make you shake in your boots, but after some time you just at least in my case, I just grew some sort of an immunity to it. And even if I get scared during a creepypasta reading, I can just immediately forget about my fear at that time and just focus on editing the video, for example. What is my favorite creepypasta? I just answered that. Are you in a relationship with someone, and who? I am in a relationship with my job. Daniel Picnicker Westermeyer asks, ever thought of a possible live stream narration here on YouTube? Daniel, you got me very excited. He's a very good friend of mine. Live stream narrations, maybe. I don't think I am that capable because I go back to my readings and edit out a lot of mistakes because English is not my native language. And I end up having a very hard time with some words that I can't simply pronounce, and I have to just repeat them over and over until I can get a proper pronunciation of those. So I wouldn't want to just get stuck on like a sentence like that. So for now, I would probably not live stream a narration on YouTube. But in the future, if I get better at what I'm doing, why not? Kyle Anthony says, first thing, congrats on the milestone. I hope you continue to be successful at YouTube. What is your favorite creepypasta? Have you ever thought about doing a spin on the whole Five Nights at Freddy's thing? Has a creepypasta ever scared you? Firstly, thank you, Kyle. You're so kind. I did answer the favorite creepypasta question before. Have I ever thought of doing a spin on the whole Five Nights at Freddy's thing? I don't know. I actually, okay, confession time. This is gonna upset a lot of people, I believe. But I never got too into the games. I do prefer the games with darker atmospheres when it comes to horror games. So at some point, Five Nights at Freddy's became an eye-hand coordination thing, which I couldn't master. That's why I was a bit upset. And so I didn't get too much into the game. And I haven't really thought of doing any narration about it. But sure, if anyone wants that, why not? And has a creepypasta ever scared me? Yes, it has. The most recent one that I can remember is, it's a story called Rose. It was about a child and his weird experiences with an ill mother and a crippled sister. While I was narrating it, I really was disturbed for some reason. I just, it felt quite creepy to continue just reading without like a faltering voice. And like some other creepypastas that I haven't narrated also scare the hell out of me at some times. There's the Goatman story, written on, I think it's called A Nazi's Goatman story. I think it's, a very, scary story in the sense that it is, you can really feel the fear of the person who conveys the story, who tells you the story. And it's, the happenings in that story is a bit bizarre. The most recently, I read The Old House by Vincent V. Cava. I wasn't really planning to be scared, but the ending struck a very strange chord in me, and I was like, I just felt a chill run down my spine. So yeah, creepypastas do scare me at times. Justin K asks, how tall are you? I am pretty short. I'm 5'2". And that is 160 for European measurement. Made of Space says, here's some from me. Why and when did you start narrating creepypastas? Have a creepypasta or creepypastas you absolutely adore but haven't gotten the chance or gotten around to narrating it yet? What are your top favorite pastas or stories of similar nature? Have you had any creepy and or paranormal experience happen to you personally that you wouldn't mind sharing? Last one, how old are you? Hope you decide to answer one or some of these. Sorry if I asked too much. Thank you for asking the questions. Of course, I would like to answer them all. When did I start narrating creepypastas? About 2 years ago, I believe. If I have a creepypasta or creepypastas I absolutely adore but haven't gotten the chance around to narrating it, yes, I do. I actually want to narrate a couple of creepypastas. However, I have been mostly avoiding them because the protagonist is a male. And I can't gender bend them because this story clearly states several times that our protagonist is a guy. But I'm thinking I will still do some of those just in due time. I don't have a top 5 pastas or stories. I really don't. Like, my favorite changes monthly. Have I had any creepy and or paranormal experience? I don't think so. However, when I was a child, and this may be the reason why I like Candle Cove so much, I had a weird experience with a television show. I might have been dreaming. I really don't remember. I was very young. But I do remember that in a television show, that the person on the screen who was a man, he stopped dead while he was basically just telling a story and just looked at the camera and just addressed me. Like, he said my name. Like, he addressed me. And I remember I was very creeped out. And like, after I confirmed that he was talking to me, because I asked him questions and he would answer me, so I just ran out of the room. But as I said, this is most likely a dream. And the last one, how old am I? I'm unfortunately very old. I'm 27. Yeah. Almost 30. That's so bad. Abby Sheck asks, what are your hobbies? Do you like sports? I have Plenty of hobbies, actually. I guess I just don't pursue them that ambitiously. I love drawing and painting. I did play the piano for about 10 years before I stopped. I still occasionally just play it, but I'm not playing it that frequently anymore. If I like sports, I love to swim. That's usually what I do as an exercise. I can't be dedicated to a specific sport because I'm bad at any and all of those, really. Like, I really can't. I did try to play tennis. I failed. Basketball, volleyball as well. I just failed in all of those. And I didn't really try any other after so many failures. I just go and exercise. And that's about it. I just don't have a specific sport that I really love doing. And I love watching baseball, as weird as it may sound. Jarno Ubels says, congrats on the 2,000 subscriber milestone. Here's my question. What is the scariest situation you've ever been in? It's hard to name one exactly, because I've been in many scary situations. But the closest to a horror movie that I can recall is, once we were out in the sea. A family friend has a boat, and so like we went out and we were cruising. But some ladies on the boat went like, we want to swim here. Let's just, let's just stop and swim. And we were like, okay. So we turned down the boat and we just got in the sea and we were swimming. And by the way, I'm very short-sighted, so I can't see much while I'm swimming, for example. So our family friend goes, okay, I thought I saw a rock or something. And I just look around, I can't see anything, but I just chalk it up as me usually not being able to see anything. But then he was a bit jittery. He was like, okay, guys, let's just get up. Like, let's just get on the boat. Let's not swim here anymore. So, like, he was just ushering us up on the boat. And then we realized that what he saw wasn't a rock, and it was, in fact, a shark who was circling around us and probably would have attacked us if we swam there any longer. And so I guess that was a scary moment. Tara Fowler Sarabelle asks, do you do any voice prep before a narration? If so, what does it consist of? Just curious, and by the way, your voice is amazing. Thank you. You're very kind. I don't have any specific voice prep before a narration. Sometimes it feels like English is not going to come out, so I just do some like mouth practices, like ahs and ohs and stuff. Drink a cup of tea. Prepare some like water, etc. to sit in front of me as I narrate so that I can take a break, drink, and continue. But yeah, I don't have any specific preparations before I narrate. Queen Angel Parker says, congrats. And you talking about tons of channels with millions. Girl, I haven't gotten even 100 yet, even though I whore my channel out. And Ask Me Anything sounds great. Time to get to know one of the most underrated creepypasta narrators on YouTube. Thank you, Queen Angel Parker. I think there are many other underrated creepypasta narrators, but thank you. You're very kind. Andrew Azriel says, how old are you? I am 27. MS13 asks, what is your definition of fear? Oh, that is a tough one. My definition of fear is, okay. I guess something that induces the need to run the fuck out of that place and, if possible, scream. I don't know. Like, fear for me is, it's a very hard question. I would mostly associate fear with, physical stuff. Like, as I mentioned before, cockroaches, or I have a fear of flights, for example, high places. And so I wouldn't really, make it a part of my, psychological life, because I would like to think that I'm very powerful, not to fear from any social and or psychological situations. So I would say it's mostly like physical things. Guy120 says, do you have a job? If so, what is it? I do have a job. And that is beside this creepypasta narration thing that I'm doing. I supply customer support for video games. So, yeah, it's a fun job. Aaron Shotwell asks, who's your biggest inspiration as a narrator and as a horror fan? What is your opinion on romance and horror? Can it work? Have you ever seen any good creepypastas in Turkish? And if so, would you ever consider translating for us non-speakers? What is your favorite horror film? Any favorite directors? Why are you so lovely? Who's my biggest inspiration as a narrator? As a narrator, it's Mr. Creepypasta, as I said. And as a horror fan, I did grow up reading the novels of Stephen King. I then read H.P. Lovecraft, whom I would say is my favorite horror author. And nowadays, I'm just hooked on Vincent V. Kafka stories. What is my opinion on romance and horror? Can it work? Yes, it can work. It did work in the past. Like any Anne Rice novel that you can pick up, you can see that it was some sort of like horror was a genre for chicks back in the days. And it does work. Have I ever seen any good creepypastas in Turkish? Unfortunately, no. I don't think there's any creepypasta in Turkish. But if I see one, and if I think that is good and worth my time, I would definitely translate and narrate it for you guys. What is my favorite horror film? Any favorite directors? My favorite horror film is, and this is a tough one. It just depends on the era. But my most recent favorite is definitely Cabin in the Woods, which is, well, it didn't strike me as hard in the horror sense than the meaning of the movie itself. It's just, it was an amazing movie. I would just recommend everyone to watch it. Any favorite directors? No. I don't have any favorite directors. Why am I so lovely? I don't know, but thank you. Elusive Cold says, I remember when you first started out. Told you people would listen to you. I still believe you can get as big as MCP. I watched every single video so far and I love them. My question is, What are your fears, big or small? Well, thank you, Elusive Cult. Yes, I have noticed that you have been there all along, and it's amazing. Thank you for that. My fears, as I said, I really hate cockroaches. I also hate high places and airplanes. I just get very stressed out. Besides those two, I used to have a very prominent fear of darkness. Not so much anymore, but I still get sometimes a little bit uncomfortable in pitch black. And I would prefer not to get on any roller coaster. That might count as a fear because, I don't like the whole jumpiness, heights, and just fast stuff. Not my thing. Jack Reads Creepypasta says, "Hey, great job. I have 2 questions. Would you be willing to do a collaboration? And I'm doing a Creepypasta showcase on my channel and would love you to be a part of it." I can't promise, but if we meet all the conditions that I've stated earlier, why not? SJW asks, "Hey, I'm a listener from Germany and watched every single video of yours. Thank you. Particularly to improve my English skills. Haha. I'm so impressed by your voice and like your selection of creepypastas a lot. Congrats to nearly 2,000 subscribers. You're my favorite narrator. My questions, might already asked, what do you find more scary, reading creepypastas or listening to them? Do you have a favorite creepypasta? Did anything spooky ever happen to you? What is your favorite topic? Haunted places, cursed video games, episodes, psychopaths, monsters, etc. More personal. You don't have to answer, I'm just curious. How old are you? Any strange habits? What is the most important thing in your life? Your worst fears? Sexual orientation? Can you please give me your voice?" This is a very cute comment. Thank you so much. Okay, let's just get straight to the questions. I do find reading creepypastas more scary than listening to them, because sometimes when I'm listening to them, I'm just distracted and then I lose the course of the story. But in some cases, listening to them are more powerful, especially if the narrator gives their soul into the story. Then yes, it's just listening to them or as creepy, or is as creepy as reading it. Do you have a favorite creepypasta? I did answer this. Did anything spooky ever happen to me? Besides the TV incident and the shark incident, I'm not sure. I guess I just, push the scary memories to the back of my mind because I can't just say, oh yeah, there's this one story that scared the bejesus out of me. But, yeah. I don't know. What is my favorite topic? Oh yes, I love this question. My favorite topic is the unexplainable and bizarre stuff. The more out of boundaries a story is, the more I like it. When it's something that hasn't been done before, I'm a sucker for it. I just totally go for it. So yeah, the bizarre and unexplainable, disappearance of a city, for example, or I don't know, a mysterious town or a mysterious TV show. These are just amazing for me. More personal. How old am I? I'm 27. Any strange habits? I probably do have strange habits because everyone does. But I can't just instantly tell one to you from the back of my head. I collect everything that is relevant to Kirby or Portal, the video games. If that's any strange habit to you. I even have a Kirby tattoo. Although I'm 27 years old. So yeah, I guess you can just call it a strange habit. What is the most important thing in my life? My mother? I don't know. My worst fear? I did speak about that. Sexual orientation. I am straight. If I can please give you my voice, yes, you're free to have it. And thank you. Kristen Bontiff says, D's nuts. Ha, got him. D's nuts. Okay. Henry Sodergren says, okay, random question, but who's your favorite superhero? Okay, this is a loaded question. I want to say Iron Man, but he has become my favorite superhero after the movies, so it wouldn't be fair to the comics. In Marvel Universe, my favorite Gambit from X-Men. In DC, it's definitely Batman over any of the other DC heroes. But yeah, I don't really have any specifics. I love the whole superhero thing. So I can count so many of those. Cool Keith 9000 asks, are you single? This is a question asked by many people for centuries. But, I am single. But anyways, I believe that's all the questions out there. I thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers, for asking me these questions, for your lovely words, for listening to me, for everything. And yeah, stay well, stay awesome. Hopefully there will be a new narration soon, and I'm sorry for the delay, but I have been working on some stuff related to real life, but soon I'll be back on track. So I'll see you around later.